I want to taste something exotic.
I want to get closer to my children. I want to...
For special offers on vacation packages, log on now to universalorlando.com. A vacation from the ordinary.
Is your kid being a kid? Call Stanley Steamer.
Stanley Steamer, tough on dirt, gentle on carpet. Betty, you made it to the reunion.
It's Jane.
Close enough. So what do you got there?
Well, that's a Kia Spectra. It's like your Toyota Corolla, except that it came standard with power windows and locks, a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, and my Spectra was $2,700 less than yours.
Oh, yeah? Well, I took Buff Johnson to the prom.
You mean that, Buff Johnson?
Right now, get the Kia Spectra for $2,700 less than the Toyota Corolla.
Virtual child porn. If the kids aren't real, should it be illegal? CBS Friday. The fight is on.
We have to find a way to protect kids and free speech.
And the Supreme Court's decision will shock you.
All sexually explicit material could be banned.
This is insane.
Larry Flint and Bill O'Reilly guest first Monday after a special Jag. CBS Friday.
Tiger Woods pursues a third green jacket and back-to-back wins at Augusta National. A tradition unlike any other, the Masters on CBS.
On the next episode of The Amazing Race.
Come on, let's go, brother.
The pressures of air travel cause tensions to boil over.
Are you an idiot or what?
The streets of Hong Kong take their toll on Peach.
I did my best. I don't have anything else to give.
And a critical mistake at the roadblock could lead to elimination.
Made headlines.
It's the first homicide in Truro in more than 30 years.
This man, Tony Jackett, had an affair with Krista, and they had a child.
Who loves you? Daddy.
You think that she picked you because she wanted to have a child?
Yeah.
Was he angry?
He explained to her, look, this isn't what you being my girlfriend was supposed to be about.
Susan Spencer has the first primetime interview with one man under suspicion.
I had become a slave to my ego, an addict to my senses.
Also, she had an important job and a fairy tale romance. Then everything changed.
I called 911. My husband is not breathing.
Suddenly, Kristen, who worked in the coroner's office, found herself charged with murder.
I did not harm my husband.
Authorities say she had the means, lethal drugs, and the motive, an affair with her boss. Bill Lagatuda investigates.
How did I go from that happy little girl to being in here facing murder charges?
2 unsolved mysteries under suspicion.
Good evening. I'm Bill Lagatuda. Dan Rather is on assignment. Tonight we have 2 extraordinary cases for you, both involving suspicious deaths, where the alleged motives for murder go straight to the heart. We begin in a place unaccustomed to violence, where the conventions of high society coexist with a simpler way of life. It's a case involving an accomplished woman who traveled in exclusive circles. Her death has exposed a tangled web of relationships in a world full of surprises. Susan Spencer has the first primetime interview with a man who quickly headed up a long list of possible suspects in a place where suspicion now runs deep.
Truro is a very quiet, quaint little town. This is pretty quiet.
Early each morning, local fishing constable Tony Jackett patrols the waterways around tiny Truro, Massachusetts,
This is where I work.
on the tip of Cape Cod.
Only place on the Cape quite like it. Yeah, it's warming up. Days are getting longer.
The Jacketts are from a long line of Portuguese fishermen.
And here we have a lot of mussels.
They've lived here since the turn of the century.
Up here we got my Aunt Tilly, and my sister lives right there, and my brother behind her. So as you can see, there's plenty of family here.
Plenty indeed.
This is Portuguese food.
Jacket's been married nearly 30 years.
Mommy's black.
At 52, he has 5 grown children and already is a grandfather. He should be enjoying this time of his life. But lately, that's been impossible.
That's Krista's house right there.
The home of Krista Worthington. 46 years old, a glamorous one-time fashion writer.
This really is probably the most photographed house in the U.S. of A. right now.
That is not much of an exaggeration. What happened here, January 6th, has changed not only Jacket's life, but the town of Truro as well.
Now, WBZ4 News.
It's the first homicide in Truro in more than 30 years. Krista Worthington, a local writer, was found dead inside her home on Sunday.
Police say she'd been stabbed at least 24 hours before they arrived. They found her daughter, Ava, 2.5 years old, alone with the body. Spilled cereal indicated that little Ava had tried to feed herself after her mother was killed.
It's inconceivable that she's gone, let alone murdered.
The grisly murder made the front pages and led the news across the country. After all, the victim was from a prominent New England family.
You know, a lot of this property in through here was owned by the Worthington family.
And Krista Worthington, a graduate of Vassar, was no stranger to the rarefied circles of high society.
She was a very radiant fashion figure all over Europe.
Writer Melly Kalin met her in London in the 80s.
She was a very glamorous figure.
At just 26, Worthington landed a job in Paris, writing for Women's Wear Daily. Among her coups, an interview with fashion heavyweight Yves Saint Laurent.
She was very interested in all the fashion stuff, but she really wanted to make her mark in a more serious area.
She thought she might write a play. So in 1997, around her 40th birthday, Krista left the fast life for Truro, where her family had spent summers.
I think that would be the point of coming, is to get some of that quiet. I suppose they need the quiet in order to be creative.
The quiet she sought contrasts sharply with the pool of rumor and suspicion now swirling around her murder, which has a list of possible suspects worthy of Agatha Christie.
It could very well be someone that she was involved with at one point.
First, there is this woman, a 29-year-old heroin addict and former prostitute.
That is real sick.
Believe it or not, she's reported to be the girlfriend of Krista's 73-year-old father, a former Massachusetts assistant district attorney. Krista was concerned and told her pal Warren Roderick, the local harbor master, that she wanted her father to end his relationship both with the woman and with her friends.
Maybe some of these people got angry at her, and they came down here and said, look, leave your father alone. He's our friend. We're having a good time with him. And it got out of hand. I mean, that's the only thing I could speculate on.
Then there's Krista's ex-boyfriend, Tim Arnold, who found her body, he told police, when he went to return a flashlight. There are conflicting reports as to how well they got along.
I have some quick questions about what your memories of Krista are.
Arnold isn't talking. And then there's Tony Jacket.
I think I've been the subject of gossip my entire life.
Jacket, it turns out, may have the closest connection to Krista. He fathered her daughter, Ava.
He's a really nice-looking guy when he puts on a uniform. Initially, that's what Krista saw in him. I happened to introduce them.
What do you think the attraction was?
She was very much attracted to the fact that he was so interested in what she did.
To me, she was a complete stranger that lived a very different life.
I think she actually, delighted in sort of, I guess you would say, educating him.
Sort of let myself be lured up to her house.
It's not something you didn't have any control over, right? I mean,
lured to her house. She didn't twist my arm, okay? And not the innocent party here, but it's just, one of those things. It was clear that I had become, a slave to my ego, an addict to my senses, and I found it something that I was just drawn to.
Worthington's friends say Jacket was just a fling.
It's a summer resort, and things like that happen, I guess.
But Roderick heard something else.
She was in love with him. Right, she was in love with him.
You're sure of that?
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Truro is a small town.
Hi, Nancy.
People saw them together.
People were noticing this.
And they began to talk.
And everyone has an opinion.
Finally, Jacket says he had had enough. He ended the relationship.
What had happened was she told him she was pregnant.
What was his reaction?
Well, his reaction naturally was, you know, he got sick. I mean, he got physically ill.
The times that we were together and how she got me not to use protection, and it was, you know, it was clear to me that she was hoping that she could get pregnant.
So are you saying you think that she picked you because she wanted to have a child?
Yeah. When it's all said, it sounds pathetic, but it's documented that that's what she wanted badly.
In fact, almost a year before she got pregnant, Worthington appeared on the TV talk show Lisa. The topic?
We call it In Single Mothers by Choice.
Women who want to be single moms.
Trying to figure out how to be the best parent to your child, given that there is no father. There's a lot of thought that goes into that.
The day she got pregnant, she was ecstatic. And I was dumbfounded.
Because Worthington had told him and many friends that, sadly, she couldn't conceive.
She'd felt that nature had passed a sentence, and then the next thing was that out of the blue, the gods reversed their decision and you know, dropped a favor on her.
How do I explain this? I'm like, all of a sudden, I realize that I'm in deep.
Now, Jacket would have to tell his wife.
I knew I had a date with the firing squad, meaning when I told my wife, I felt that that would be it.
But did the affair have anything at all to do with Krista Worthington's death? Was he angry?
Well, he was angry in the sense of he explained to her, look, this isn't what, you know, you being my girlfriend was supposed to be about. I'm feeling like I've been tricked.
That's next.
Things are coming together at the Home Depot. We're driving down the cost of home improvement with free assembly on all gas grills and lawnmowers going on right now. You buy it, we'll put it together. Every gas grill comes with free propane, and this Honda mower comes with an extended 3-year warranty. Free propane, free extended Honda warranty, and free assembly. New equipment is ready to go right now at the Home Depot.
Still I think of you. Days when I couldn't live my life without you. Without you.
With a back like mine, you gotta know your limits. I'll tell you when I reach them.
Dynastep inserts relieve lower body pain. When your feet hit the ground off balance, everything up to your lower back can get out of alignment. Dynastep helps you hit the ground evenly, providing clinically proven pain relief. Dr. Scholl's Dynastep inserts.
Look, feel, do better.
Take care of your future now with new Bayer Women's Aspirin Plus Calcium. Calcium for your bones, aspirin for your heart. Heart disease is the #1 killer of women. Be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen and ask about new Bayer Women's.
What's more common in women than green eyes or freckled faces? Thinning hair. More than 30 million women have it. That's why there's Rogaine, the first FDA-approved treatment clinically proven to regrow hair. There's hope. There's hope. There's Rogaine.
The kids are fine. Why are you always so anxious?
Dad, you're always so tense. Are you mad at me?
Honey, you can't keep losing sleep. It makes you so irritable.
You worry constantly. Can't we have a relaxing dinner anymore?
Chronic anxiety can affect your relationships, your work, your life.
If you're one of the millions of people who live with uncontrollable worry, anxiety, and several of these symptoms for 6 months or more, you could be suffering from generalized anxiety disorder, and a chemical imbalance could be to blame. Paxil, the most prescribed medication of its kind for generalized anxiety, works to correct this imbalance. Prescription Paxil is not for everyone. Tell your doctor what medicines you're taking. People taking MAOIs or thiouridazine should not take Paxil. Side effects may include decreased appetite, dry mouth, sweating, nausea, constipation, sexual side effects, tremor, fatigue, or sleepiness. With the help of Paxil, you can see someone you haven't seen in a while. Yourself.
Hey, I remember you.
A mid-air tragedy when the pilot is accused.
I want to clear his name.
His wife's search for the truth.
This is Northern Ireland. This is war, Catherine.
Not my war.
Will reveal a lifetime of secrets.
We fell in love.
How could you?
Christine Lottie, Campbell Scott, the pilot's wife, CBS Sunday.
I really try to be discreet.
For almost 2 agonizing years, Tony Jackett managed to keep his affair with Krista Worthington secret.
I felt that probably it would end my marriage.
But by December 2000, Krista was demanding Jackett tell his wife about the affair, by then long over, and about their child, Ava.
Well, I think she became alarmingly aware of the likeness that Ava was taking on. And she was concerned that Ava would be asking questions.
Tony was then at his wit's end, and he has no idea how he's going to work this out with his family.
You didn't have a clue?
No.
Out of the blue, this comes.
He said he had to talk to me, and he said he was in trouble.
Trouble indeed. The Jacketts had been married nearly 30 years.
I said, in trouble? How are you in trouble? And he didn't know what to say, and I said, with the IRS? And he said, no, worse. I said, the police? No, worse than that. I said, what could be worse than that?
What are you thinking at this point?
I was sort of frightened. He was very uncomfortable, and I couldn't imagine what it was. And he said, no, he said, I had an affair about 3 years ago, and there's a child. He hesitated, and he said, there's a child. And I said, you're kidding.
I mean, I thought she was going to have a huge breakdown at one point. And
Tony's sons were aghast.
that was the only time he actually changed in my eyes to do this to my mother. I have no clue why. It was a mistake, a big mistake.
My first reaction was, oh my God, there goes the family.
Jackett's daughter thought the damage was beyond repair.
That was my biggest concern because we're so close.
But Jackett's kids apparently didn't know their mother as well as they thought. Susan Jackett did something extraordinary.
I have to make up my mind if I'm going to make my marriage work. It's been too many years, and he's a nice man. When people make mistakes, he's only human. I don't want this anger in me. It's beautiful. What a beautiful day. I just want to make this all work.
And it wasn't just her marriage she was talking about. Susan Jackett wanted a real relationship with her husband's former lover and with little Ava.
You do realize that to most people this would seem pretty bizarre.
Yeah. But she was just a little innocent baby.
I don't think a lot of women can relate to what my mother is doing.
Jackett's oldest son, Bo.
My mother is probably the biggest hero in this whole story. She's an angel. My mom, she's a strong lady, She accepted Krista and, got to be friends with her.
We had her over for dinner, and it was a little uncomfortable the first time. But the more I got to know her, I liked her. I thought she was a nice person. And the baby was very enchanting, endearing, and she loved the baby so much. And so we just tried to make it work.
It felt like God's work, that it was just very peaceful, and it felt really right. And you knew it with this little, the Ava, how lucky for her.
But in January, everything changed when Krista Worthington was murdered. And Tony Jackett found himself topping the list of possible suspects.
It's a shock to even hear the words suspect with my father. It's definitely hard for him. It's hard for me and my family. My father did not kill Krista.
We don't know who did it, but we know that he didn't do it.
But after 3 long months, the DA still will say nothing of the sort.
I'm left in limbo if they don't solve it.
jackets, and Krista's ex-boyfriend say they've now heard they're off the likely suspect list, but the DA won't confirm it. Nor will he officially rule out anyone else mentioned in the press. Not Krista's father's girlfriend, her associates, or even other members of the Jacket family.
We're doing everything we can to cooperate, not hinder the investigation, but it is frustrating.
Especially because the suspicion hanging over them bears on another crucial question. What will become of Ava? With her mother gone, the Jackets had just assumed that they would raise her.
Tony's her father. And where else would she go? Who would love her more? We had already fallen madly in love with her. It was easy to think that we would raise her.
The Jackets say they thought, for the most part, Krista had been happy they were involved with Ava. But others weren't so sure.
Because Ava took so well to Tony's wife, Susan, I really think that upset Krista.
Whatever the reason, just 2 months before her death, Krista wrote a will, naming as Ava's guardians not the Jackets, but her longtime friends Amira and Cliff Chase. Ava is now living with the well-to-do couple outside Boston.
Why do you think she put this in her will?
I don't know. I really have no idea.
Maybe it's her way of saying she doesn't want you to have Ava.
Well, I was good enough to father the child. I should be good enough to raise the child. Thank you. That's how I feel about it.
We're a happy family.
The Jackets are allowed to see Ava only 6 hours a week.
And who loves you?
That's right. Daddy loves you, yeah.
The fight for full custody
Bring the motion for custody before a court.
has become a family crusade.
You feel like Ava is your sister.
She is my sister, and she should be with us.
But I'd love to be a part of her life, you know, and watch her grow up, definitely, and, you know, be a big brother.
No comment.
But the mystery of this unsolved murder now hangs over the custody battle,
This could go on for God knows how long.
as it does over this picturesque Cape Cod community, where Krista Worthington came for peace.
Next, a storybook wedding.
I was so caught up in the moment and in the wedding.
But it wasn't happily ever after.
My husband is not breathing.
Did this young wife who worked in the coroner's office plot the ultimate escape?
She decided to kill him instead of just getting a divorce.
I didn't do it.
Just ahead.
A touch of
When your skin is perfectly soft and perfectly fresh, it's perfectly comfortable. New Lieber 2000 Moisture Response with Vitamin E. Its moisturizer goes where you need extra attention, so you can get the perfect clean for all your 2,000 parts.
Got a tough clog? You want it gone fast. And you think Professional Strength Liquid Plumber and Drano Max are both the same, right? Wrong. One works faster. Professional Strength Liquid Plumber. On the toughest clogs, it's faster than Drano Max. Professional Strength Liquid Plumber, because faster is better.
I see a lot of things in here that most people don't. But I've seen a lot of miracles, too.
Here in the ER, critical decisions are made every minute. But for pain management, the choice is clear. Tylenol. It's the first choice of emergency rooms nationwide. Not Advil, not Aleve, Tylenol.
When the stakes are high, you bring them here.
Tylenol. More emergency rooms take comfort in our strength.
It's a boy.
Sarah bought a new Kia Sportage. It came with 3 airbags and 24-hour roadside assistance. Trish bought a Honda CR-V. 2 airbags, no roadside assistance. Sarah's Sportage came with a 10-year warranty. Trish's Honda, just 3. And yet Sarah paid thousands less than poor Trish.
Jill, will you shut it?
Oh, Trish is upset. Is it because Sarah's been dating her ex-boyfriend?
The 2002 Kia Sportage. Right now, get $2,000 cash back.
Yes, Guess who?
Hello? Hello, Mr. Storm.
The dreaded telemarketer.
No, it's Strom. Congrats.
Telemarketers got your number? Get the Telezapper, and soon those annoying calls will just about stop altogether. The Telezapper from Privacy Technologies at Kmart.
What's better than buttery popcorn? We read your mind. Introducing Orville Redenbacher's sweet and buttery microwave popcorn. Covered in butter and sprinkled with sweetness. It's a totally new way to get Orvilleized.
Tonight on an all-new Late Show, forget Oprah, it's Dave's Book Club.
War and Peace large print edition.
Plus, Sandra Bullock, Sheryl Crow, and a 14-year-old film critic. Then, the top 10 reasons John Ashcroft didn't sing for Dave.
For some reason, he thought we were going to make fun of him. Well, I don't know.
Tonight, then catch Craig.
This couple has raised Spencer since birth.
He's mine.
But this man says they stole his child. What happens to Spencer will astound you. 48 Hours, Friday.
It had all the appearances of a fairy tale, but in reality, this next story is a tale of young love gone tragically wrong, of two proud families divided by heartache, and of a marriage begun with so much promise, suddenly ending in mystery. One partner is gone, the other under suspicion for murder. Yet once upon a time, it was hard to imagine a more perfect union.
That whole day, I was so caught up in the moment and in the wedding.
Can't believe it. I think the first time. Brett camera. There he is, right there. All right, that's enough.
June 5th, 1999 was a perfect day for a wedding in Claremont, California.
I was enjoying the moment, having my dad walk me down the aisle.
On that day,
Kristen, will you have this man to be your husband?
I will.
22-year-old Kristen Rossum and 25-year-old Gregory DeVillers
I pronounce that they are husband and wife.
were married after a 5-year courtship. The happy occasion brought two prominent families together.
We welcome Gregory to our family.
College professors Ralph and Constance Rossum
This is an international event.
and the DeVillers family, three close brothers originally from Monaco, and a divorced mother living in Palm Springs.
I have a toast from the groom.
For Greg DeVillers, it seemed to be the happiest day of his life.
Kristen is the most wonderful person I've ever met. And I just can't wait to spend the rest of my life with her.
Remember that. I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with Kristen. And he had. He spent the rest of his life with Kristen because he didn't want to live
A life without her.
her.
But before this bright young couple could celebrate their second anniversary, Greg would be dead, and Kristen would be behind bars.
I ask myself every day, how did I go from that happy little girl to being in here facing murder charges?
Kristen Rossum is hardly the typical inmate at the Las Colinas Detention Center. A former child model and ballerina who performed in the Nutcracker. Kristen went on to graduate summa cum laude with a degree in chemistry from San Diego State University.
She was our angel, just a very sweet, loving, gentle girl.
Kristen Rossum.
But now, at age 25, she is facing capital murder charges in the death of her husband.
The defendant is charged with murder by poison.
Charges both Kristen and her parents
We are absolutely convinced that she is innocent of the charges.
strongly deny.
I'm sorry. We have to go.
Instead, they insist Greg's death was a suicide.
I just want to shout at the top of my lungs, I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Kristen Rossum was employed by the San Diego County Medical Examiner's Office, the coroner's office, which, as you're about to see, will become a major focus in this case. It involves the autopsy on Greg DeVillers, an unusual drug, and Kristen's behavior at the office. There are many questions about this case, but one certainty. Greg and Kristen's storybook marriage was in reality no fairy tale.
About a year into our marriage, Greg became very, very clingy to me as I was trying to pull myself away and have some sort of sense of independence.
Kristen and Greg's relationship was very unhealthy in that he was very controlling,
very obsessed with her.
Kristen's friend, Melissa Prager, says Greg did not want to share his wife with the outside world.
Kristen was becoming Greg's project and less Kristen Rossum.
He always wanted to keep tabs on me and stop me from having any independent life outside of our marriage.
Kristen decided to leave Greg and says she broke the news to him over the weekend of November 5th, 2000. And she says Greg did not take the news well.
He went to bed very early and stopped talking to me.
That morning, Kristen says she got ready for work. Greg did not.
He wasn't getting up like normal. He was really sluggish, and his speech was slurred. It sounded like he had taken too much of something to get to sleep the night before.
Before she left for her job at the coroner's office, Kristen called the biotech company where Greg worked as a marketing director to say he would not be in that day.
When I went home for lunch, he was up, and he told me at that point that he had, in fact, taken some of my old medications when he couldn't sleep last night.
Apparently, Greg had taken OxyContin and clonazepam, a painkiller and a muscle relaxer.
Next time I saw him was after I got home from work,
What time was that?
about 5 o'clock.
Where was he and what did he look
He
like?
was sleeping in bed and snoring rather loudly.
Did you try and wake him up? Did you try and talk to him?
I didn't. I just figured it was better to let him sleep. I went and took a bath and came out, got changed for bed, and I noticed that he wasn't breathing.
What did you do then?
I called 911. And I gave him CPR, and I tried to resuscitate him.
Paramedical dispatcher.
My husband is not breathing.
Is he in bed?
Yes.
Okay, can you take him off the bed and put him on the floor?
Kristen says as she tried to move Greg to the floor, she made a very chilling discovery.
I pulled the bedspread back, and he was covered. His chest was covered in rose petals, red rose petals. And he had a picture of our wedding photos in bed with him.
Did the rose petals signify anything to you when you saw that?
He had given me a dozen beautiful long-stem red roses for my birthday a few weeks earlier. And he was making a big deal of the last rose standing. And I think he was just making a statement that he knew our relationship was over.
When the paramedics arrived, they tried to revive him, but it was too late. Greg DeVillers was dead. He was 26.
Do you believe that he intended to kill himself, or do you think he was just trying to hurt himself?
I don't know if it was a cry for help or an intended suicide. I really don't know.
Greg's death might have gone down in the books as a suicide, the last desperate act of a depressed man. Except Greg's family and friends say Kristen is lying.
I had a really difficult time believing it. Him laying in bed all weekend popping pills. No, I don't see it.
When we come back,
the evidence that we have is immaculate.
The case for murder.
She decided to kill him instead of just getting a divorce.
So you sure this is okay? What if someone calls? What if someone calls?
Sometimes you feel like being dependable. Sometimes you just want to go for a drive. Chevy Impala.
I'll be there. Jerky?
So what'd you have for dinner? A pound of fried chicken, mashed potatoes, corn and pudding. You? A sliver of trout, spritzed with lemon, and baby carrots!
Should have had Hungry Man from Swanson. A whole pound of the good hearty food that men love. Hungry Man, it's good to be full.
Right?
48 hours. We'll continue.
Somewhere, someone will win this $1 million dream house, and we'll reveal the lucky winner live. Wake up to what's happening tomorrow morning on The Early Show with Bryant Gumbel and Jane Clayson.
The Middle East in crisis. Tomorrow, Secretary of State Powell arrives on his high-stakes peace mission. Dan Rather has all the latest from Jerusalem on the CBS Evening News.
Thursday, it's a survivor mystery.
The skull of a man.
Who is it? And how did he get here?
Blunt trauma to the head.
All new Survivor. Then, when the body's cold, CSI gets down to business. But this time, the case gets personal. You can't get too close to the victims.
She's special.
CSI. And this agent was trained for a desk job. But when she goes undercover...
It's about to go down.
Things go terribly wrong.
She could be executed.
They know what the stakes are. The Agency after Survivor and CSI, CBS Thursday.
First Monday with James Garner and Joe Mantegna. Friday on CBS. It's all here.
Coin.com, your best choice for news.
Hey, Dad, we're going out for spaghetti, right?
Yep, that's where we're going.
But I want a chicken.
Mm-hmm, that's where we're going.
Honey, weren't we going to a nice soup and salad place?
Yeah, that's where we're going.
At Old Country Buffet, you get more than great food. You get total agreement. With over 90 items, everyone can choose exactly what they want, whether it's fresh and crisp, freshly carved, or fresh and fun.
Whoa. Dad.
That's where I'm going.
Old Country Buffet. Great choice.
Why are the vast majority of these buildings painted with Miller paint? This is the Northwest. This is our paint. Specially engineered for our unique climate, no other paint beats Miller for durability here in the Northwest. Something to keep in mind the next time you paint your own home. Miller Paint. Our paint.
Growing up in Grants Pass, Oregon, in a logger's family, no, we didn't travel. But now that my family is growing, I want my children to experience the excitement of new situations. My son makes great observations when we're traveling about the way children act. He noticed that children cry differently in Europe, and he's an expert in crying. The best trips I've had is where I've looked down at my son, and he's looking up at me, and we're both smiling, and we share an equal experience. That's really magic, and you can't really get that at home.
Are you the next Powerball multi-millionaire? Watch the Powerball drawing during Coin 6 News at 11 every Wednesday and Saturday night to find out. Do you have your ticket?
I'm Dave Sweeney. Little on the cloudy and wet side, likely to stay that way. Check at 11.
We try to keep a calm demeanor outside, but inside we are very indignant, very angry.
After nearly 4 months behind bars, Kristen Rossum and her parents face their first court hearing.
We're going to be thinking of Kristen, thinking of how her life is in front of the whole world.
Where prosecutors will try to convince the judge they have a valid case for murder.
This is a vibrant, alive woman who should be outside pursuing her career in chemistry.
Excuse us?
Not defending herself against what is a suicide.
Okay, family.
Greg DeViller's mother and 2 brothers are hoping his side of the story will finally be heard, that Greg did not kill himself.
My name is Ralph Rossum, and Kristen's father. We're absolutely indignant that we're here.
Greg's family has decided not to talk publicly, but Greg's friends are speaking on his behalf.
For people to be saying that Greg had problems and he was this dark, moody person, they're way off base.
Bill Legere says his best friend, Greg DeVillers, was not the suicidal type.
He was just a straightforward, up-front, no-nonsense kind of guy, hard-working guy. Greg was very happy. He was looking forward to possibly purchasing a home.
He was actually planning a fishing trip with us.
Stefan Grunwald was Greg's boss.
I mean, you as a suicide candidate, you would probably not plan a fishing trip. I thought something is strange here. It's just gut feeling, right? I thought there's something strange.
But Greg's friends really began to suspect foul play when they learned Kristen had donated his skin and his eyes to science.
That is totally strange because the eyes are the most water-containing parts in the human body. When you are dead, poison, that's water soluble, shows up in the eyes.
Grunwald was even more outraged when he heard that Kristen had plans to cremate Greg within days of his death.
I said we have to hold the cremation. We have just to stop it because I want to have the case investigated.
Pressured by family and friends, police started investigating Greg's death as a possible homicide.
I appreciate you coming down. I know it was kind of like a last-minute notice.
One of their first interviews was with Kristen Rossum.
And I have questions that I don't have answers to. I don't know why this young man is dead.
Police quickly learned that Kristen had a dark secret.
And how much do you take at one time?
Drugs.
I was taking methamphetamine.
In what form?
I I would usually smoke it.
That's right. Kristen Rossum was a former drug addict, and she'd started using again.
I would do it daily.
And what effect would it have on you?
You know, at first you feel a bit of euphoria, but then quickly you just find that you need it to function.
Kristen first tried crystal meth back in high school.
We had a horrendous time. Her life was threatened. People were calling asking for money.
Her parents were stunned when 18-year-old Kristen ran away, first to San Diego.
Here our daughter isn't in college. She's run away. We're thinking, where did we go wrong? How do we explain this to anybody?
In her travels, Kristen went to Tijuana, Mexico, where she met Greg DeVillers, who was there on vacation.
From the first time I met him, he was head over heels for her and vice versa. I think that they moved in together within 5 to 10 days, so it was pretty instant.
Greg soon learned she was a drug addict, but he was already hooked on her.
This thing with the drugs, that was new to Greg. I mean, he didn't take aspirin, for Christ's sake.
We always called Greg a godsend from heaven. I mean, of all the people she could have met, to have met a nice, decent person who wanted to take care of her, we thanked God.
With Greg's help, Kristen beat her addiction.
He was my angel because he saved me.
But by the time they were married 5 years later, the dynamic in the relationship had changed. So the drug problem that initially brought them together is not present anymore.
Hadn't been for 5 years.
And so the relationship has changed.
Yes.
Kristen doesn't need him to save her anymore.
Right.
She now needs him for other things, which would be encouragement and support in her professional aspirations and the like.
He was growing more and more controlling and obsessive about our relationship.
I wouldn't say obsessed. I would say that he was head over heels for her, sure. Obsessed is a tough word.
Kristen says she finally told Greg she wanted out. Were you considering a divorce?
I was. I wanted a trial separation to make sure I was making the right decision.
One of the reasons she wanted to leave was because of what was happening at the coroner's office. Within the first year of marriage, Kristen had started an affair with her married boss, Michael Robertson.
We had a lot in common, and we were both in relationships that we weren't happy with, and we gravitated toward one another. We loved each other.
Had the two of you made plans?
We had talked about, a future together.
The happiest I've ever seen Kristen was when she informed me about this new man in her life, Michael.
Melissa Prager is Kristen's best friend.
It was an entirely different love. A love that was true and sincere and that she was discovering on her own.
He provided me unconditional support and encouragement and so much love.
Maybe you loved him enough that you guys just had to get rid of Greg.
That's disgusting. That's horrible.
People do it.
Not me. That's ludicrous.
Kristen says she told Greg about her affair.
It was after I had told him about Michael that a lot of his obsessive behaviors really came to a head.
Immediately, she said to me, please help me find an apartment. I can't live with this person anymore. He's really scaring me. I don't even want to be in the house with him anymore.
And then, with the stress of her troubled marriage, Kristen says, she went back to smoking crystal meth.
Did your husband know that she had started slipping?
He confronted me and I denied it.
Was he upset over it?
He was very upset. I'm sorry that I was so weak and went back to it. I feel very embarrassed about that. But it doesn't mean I hurt Greg.
According to Kristen, Greg then threatened to report her drug use and her affair to her supervisors, including Michael Robertson's boss.
The state maintains that one of the motives for murder was that you were afraid that Greg was going to expose, number one, your affair with Michael Robertson, and number two, your drug use. What's your reaction?
That's just ridiculous. Those certainly aren't motives.
You didn't want people to know that you were using drugs.
I didn't want people to know, but it's certainly not the end of the world.
The lurid details of Kristen's life kept the murder investigation focused on her as the primary suspect.
I am not a murderer. I did not harm my husband.
But it wasn't until the autopsy results came back, revealing one final clue, that police finally had enough to arrest Kristen Rossum for the murder of her husband.
Is it a coincidence that your husband died of a fentanyl overdose and fentanyl is missing from the medical examiner's office?
That's next.
Guess which fiber is 100% soluble? Metamucil with psyllium, which can cause excess gas, or Citruscell fiber, which doesn't. Citruscell. Don't just have a regular day, have a great day.
Some women solve problems before they start. Little ones and big ones. Introducing One a Day Today, the only complete multivitamin with soy for your heart and bones. A better tomorrow starts with today. New from One a Day.
Starting to feel a little cramped by your... while selling your current house to someone who'll find it absolutely perfect. If you're looking for outstanding results, look for Remax.
Kids today are too soft. Mom cleaned our cuts with soap and water. No, Mom.
From Band-Aid brand comes hurt-free antiseptic wash with lidocaine to relieve the pain.
Where's the Sportinette?
Band-Aid brand hurt-free antiseptic wash.
Whoever thought you'd get wrinkles and blemishes at the same time? Only Neutrogena Anti-Wrinkle Anti-Blemish Cream combines the #1 wrinkle fighter retinol with the #1 blemish fighter. For clearer, younger-looking skin, Neutrogena Anti-Wrinkle Anti-Blemish Cream.
Spirits are reaching out to one man, Ted Danson, living with the dead. CBS, April 28th.
Is belonging to a sex offender, but it didn't. It's the home of a woman, and she's upset. Her story tonight. And squatters living in local homes that are up for sale, hiding during open houses. The story at 11. We'll see you then.
There's something irresistible about buttermilk pancakes, and only one place to go for the very best, IHOP. And right now you can enjoy our famous buttermilk pancakes for just $1. That's right, buy any beverage and get breakfast for $1. So stop by IHOP for the sweetest deal around. 3 delicious pancakes for just $1. One taste and you'll see why everybody's favorite pancakes come from IHOP. Anytime's a good time for IHOP.
Mom, Dad, I ate my vegetables. I'm getting a cookie.
Okay. At Old Country Buffet, there are over 90 items to choose from, but none more tempting than dessert. Whoa. Hot cobbler, apple crisp, all kinds of cookies and cakes. You can even build your own sundae. So go for it.
Whoa.
That's a cookie? Yeah, it's in there.
Cookie sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
Old Country Buffet. Great choice.
Know how many benefits there are to quitting smoking? Just use your imagination.
I'm a Greek American. I'm half Greek, and I've never been to Greece. So I plan on going for the Olympics in 2004 and taking my daughter. My dad used to take me on the other side of LAX, and we'd sit there in our car and watch the planes come in. We'd talk about different places, and he'd tell me about Greece, where he was raised, and just made me think of a world bigger than the world I lived in. And that's what travel represented to me then and now.
Hi, I'm Dave Sweeney. Rain today. More on the way. Check at 11.
Our greatest fear is that Kristen will join a number of people who are on death row and do not deserve to be there.
Oh, hi, baby.
How you doing? We had a good meeting this morning with the defense team. She is absolutely helpless. We are excited about how their investigation is going. She can do nothing in her own defense.
I love you.
Kristen Rossum was arrested for the murder of her husband when the authorities figured out exactly what killed him. And this is it. Fentanyl, a powerful painkiller, and Greg DeVillers had a lot of it in his body. You can administer fentanyl to someone through an injection, a needle like this one. You could swallow it. Or fentanyl also comes in these timed-release patches, which can be applied directly to the skin. This is not the kind of drug you would find in your medicine cabinet at home. So, who would know about fentanyl and have access to it? Kristen Rossum, for one. Her job at the coroner's office was as a toxicologist, someone who analyzes deadly drugs.
Did you have access to fentanyl?
At work, I had access, as did everybody else there. I certainly did not take any of it.
And that's not all. Kristen Rossum also knew that her office did not routinely test for fentanyl in autopsies. Her boss and lover, Michael Robertson, knew that too.
Would that first screening have come up or detected fentanyl?
Again, we weren't able to detect fentanyl in our facility. Okay. We would have to send that out.
And just in case the autopsy did turn up fentanyl, Kristen may have been counting on Robertson's help, according to prosecutor Dan Goldstein.
The person who was going to make the decision on what drugs were in Gregory DeViller's body and the lethality of those drugs was an individual that the defendant was having an affair with.
And then there is what Goldstein might consider his smoking gun.
10 milligrams of powder in a vial is missing.
Fentanyl missing from the place where Kristen worked.
And then there are 15 patches from the medical examiner's office that are missing.
But Kristen says that doesn't mean she took it.
I wouldn't be surprised to learn that any drug was missing from that place. A lot of people have access to it. It was so loosely tracked.
The coroner's office had been criticized in the past for the disorganized way it handled drugs.
A recent article referred to it as a candy store, if you would.
Harry Bunnell, the former chief deputy coroner.
If you went in there when it was lunchtime and all the toxicologists were out to lunch, you could do whatever you wanted to do.
Was Greg the kind of person who would steal drugs from your office?
I wouldn't think so, but his behavior wasn't very rational in the last few weeks. I was beginning to feel like I didn't really know him.
But if Greg did indeed kill himself with fentanyl, how is it possible he left behind no evidence?
If he had administered the drugs to himself, you'd expect to see a tourniquet, syringes, a needle of some type, or even a patch. There isn't any evidence on the crime scene.
Kristen's lawyer, Alex Lobig, says there's no evidence because Greg got rid of it. And the reason he did that was to make it look like murder, to frame Kristen.
This person who was so desperately in love with Kristen, so focused on her, and so confronted with the reality of losing her, might say, you know, if I can't have you, nobody's going to have you. There he is, right there.
If he killed himself and got rid of the evidence, Greg DeVillers was either very crafty or very lucky. Most experts say an injection would knock him out immediately, so he'd have to use the patches.
If he'd used patches, though, where were the patches?
If he removed them, he could have easily flushed them down the toilet. I don't know.
But Goldstein says that theory doesn't explain one final, crucial piece of evidence.
Were there needle marks on his body?
There was needle marks administered by the paramedics, but one needle mark is unaccounted for.
That mystery needle mark, says the DA, is where Kristen may have injected her husband.
He did not take the fentanyl. Somebody gave him the fentanyl.
Page 6, item 1, Kristen Rossum.
Although the evidence at best was circumstantial, combined it was enough to charge Kristen Rossum with murder.
There was a motive, that Kristen Rossum was fearful that Gregory DeVillers was going to turn her into the medical examiner's office, that she was using methamphetamine and having an affair with the chief toxicologist.
Was the chief toxicologist, Michael Robertson, somehow involved?
Are you guilty of anything?
His story next.
This woman says her house was labeled as belonging to a sex offender. Her story tonight at 11.
The Dodge Durango. It not only hauls almost 4 tons, it's the only SUV with a V8 for around 23 grand.
Oh, great. Stuck behind another one of these.
Grab Dodge's 7-100 powertrain pledge. Ford, GM, Toyota, and Honda don't match it.
The best thing about family, it's yours. The worst thing, it's yours.
Socks and underwear should be sold by the pound. If it's on a nice plate, any meal is special.
Is there such a thing as laundry elbow? They call it a living room, but it's more like a theme park. Make peace with dust bunnies.
Everybody's got to buy plunger sometime.
Roundup's patented formula knocks out weeds in 24 hours. The leading imitator doesn't. Roundup knocks out weeds in 24 hours.
What do I want in a Glade plug-in? Well, it'd be fresh. What about a nightlight? A bright one that goes off when you don't need it and doesn't block my outlets. Perfect.
Introducing Glade Plug-in's Extra Outlet Nightlight, the only one that freshens, brightens, and doesn't block your outlets.
Plug it in, plug it in. Now that's a bright idea.
Plug in the new Extra Outlet Nightlight. S.C. Johnson, a family company.
It is above and beyond any nightmare I could ever imagine. I would do anything to get out of here right now.
After 6 months in the Las Colinas Detention Center, Kristen Rossum is going home to her family.
I'm going to be able to hug my baby.
Right.
Freed on $1.25 million bail.
I just can't believe that I'm home. And I'm going home and I'm going to stay there.
Oh, Angel.
Kristen is the only defendant in the upcoming murder trial of Gregory DeVillers. But prosecutor Dan Goldstein is not convinced she acted alone.
Michael Robertson is under investigation for the homicide of Gregory DeVillers. There's no question about that.
Goldstein believes Kristen's boss and then-boyfriend, Michael Robertson, somehow helped Kristen carry out the killing.
We were guilty of having an affair, but he had nothing to do with Greg's death.
Did Michael Robertson have anything to do with Greg DeVillers' death? After all, he was involved with the dead man's wife, and he too had access to fentanyl. Or was Michael Robertson simply guilty of having an affair? Getting answers to these questions is not easy, because Michael Robertson is no longer in San Diego. He's an Australian national, and shortly before Kristen was arrested for murder, Michael Robertson came home. And this is where he's been ever since. Michael, are you hiding out here in Australia?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Robertson was fired from the medical examiner's office for not reporting Kristen's drug use. And that was just the beginning. Did you in that moment look at yourself and think, I was involved with a woman, now her husband turns up dead, this doesn't look very good?
I said that to the police when they started questioning me. I said, look, I understand why you are looking at me.
But the prosecution says Robertson had a motive and opportunity.
He was in the proximity, close proximity of Gregory DeVillers from 3 to 5 o'clock during the afternoon of Gregory DeVillers' death.
Michael Robertson and Kristen Rossum were seen together several times that day, both in and out of the office, having what witnesses described as emotional conversations. What was that about?
It was all about me just trying to find out why she was using these drugs again.
Robertson claims that day he had just learned that Kristen was using methamphetamine again. He says they were not plotting Greg DeVillers' murder.
I can't explain the death. I haven't seen all the bits and pieces.
Nor can he offer any theories. I'm no scientist, but I've been told that if you inject that much fentanyl into yourself, you'd basically be dead before you get to the bathroom.
I wouldn't argue that point with you.
So if Greg DeVillers injected himself with that large a dose of fentanyl, doesn't sound like he would have had time to get rid of the needle.
That's correct.
So it looks suspicious.
It can look suspicious, absolutely.
Despite how it may look, Robertson is convinced his former girlfriend is not capable of committing murder.
I don't believe Kristen is the type of person that would even consider anything like this.
Michael Robertson has separated from his wife. Since returning to Australia, he says he hasn't been able to find work because of his connection to this murder investigation. Did you, Michael Robertson, have anything to do with Greg DeVillers' death?
Absolutely not.
Back in California,
I've never been happier to be home.
Kristen says her only crime was adultery.
Have a toast.
The Rossums, though, are not the only ones feeling confident.
I have to say that the investigation has fallen into place rather well.
While prosecutors have decided not to seek the death penalty,
To our daughter, our innocent daughter.
Thank you.
they intend to send 25-year-old Kristen Rossum to prison for the rest of her life. The murder trial is set for June. Prosecutors won't say whether they're likely to charge Kristen Rossum's former boyfriend, Michael Robertson, in the death of Kristen's husband. For his part, Robertson tells us he has no intention of returning from Australia to testify in Kristen's defense. We'll be following the trial, and we'll update you on developments in this case against a young woman under suspicion. That's 48 hours for tonight. Tune in tomorrow morning for the early show, and then tomorrow night for the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather. For Dan, who is on assignment, I'm Bill Lagatuda. Good night.
Tonight on an all-new Late Show, don't miss Sandra Bullock plus Sheryl Crow. Then, the top 10 reasons John Ashcroft didn't sing for Dave. First, your local news.
Up next, this 14-year-old boy charged tonight in the murder of a 52-year-old woman on the Oregon coast. This woman is shocked when she finds out her home was mistakenly labeled as the home of a sex offender. And local homes waiting to be sold are becoming homes for squatters. The news at 11 starts now.
Now, live from Coin Center, this is Coin 6 News at 11.
Police arrest a 14-year-old boy for the rape and murder of a psychologist in Brandon. Good evening, everyone. I'm Karen Adams.
And I'm Jeff Ginola. Glad you're with us, everyone. He is only in the 7th grade, but tonight police say he is their prime suspect in the brutal murder of a 52-year-old woman. Dr. Judith Ellman's body was discovered on the beach Sunday near Bandon. Drew Mickelson has the latest from the Oregon coast.
This story is the talk of this small town. Lots of folks here in Bandon know the victim, Judith Ellman, and they also know the boy who was arrested, Raymond Perkins. So this is all just blowing them away.
It's still under construction, but see that little light out there, that little post?
Oh, yeah.
That's where the memorial will be.
Teresa Adams lives on the property Judith Ellman owned, but she never thought of her as her landlord.
She was my friend, yeah.
Judith Ellman was murdered. Her body was found on the beach near Bandon on Sunday. She'd been beaten and raped. Friends already miss her.
She enjoyed life to the fullest, and she lived it.
Police say 14-year-old Raymond Allen Perkins raped and killed the 52-year-old psychologist. Perkins apparently also stole her car and drove it into the woods where it got stuck. Police then say, for some reason, Perkins told them he had found the car abandoned.
He was the individual that originally found or led the sheriff's office to the vehicle where it was found. We have evidence that puts him in the vehicle, and then we subsequently interviewed him and arrested him.
Raymond Perkins is now at the Coos County Juvenile Detention Facility. He could be charged as an adult for murder and rape. Teresa Adams, the friend and neighbor of the murder victim, also knows the murder suspect.
Raymond? Yeah. He seems like a normal kid. We had him over here a couple times.
Perkins and her son are friends. Both attend Harbor Lights Middle School in Bandon. Like most folks in town, she can't believe what's happened.
I mean, I'm just floored. There's not much I can say about it because I would never, ever want to go through that with one of my kids. And I can't even imagine what his mother's feeling like right now.
Teresa Adams and a lot of folks here in Bandon aren't willing to convict Raymond Perkins of anything. They say in their minds he will be innocent until proven guilty in court. And court is exactly where Raymond Perkins will be tomorrow morning. In Bandon, I'm Drew Mickelson, Point 6 News.
Thank you, Drew. And the man who led police on a chase through Wilsonville and Woodburn is behind bars tonight in Lincoln County. Police caught up with Richard Smith at the Shiloh Inn in Lincoln City this afternoon. A police cruiser rammed his car as he tried to get away. Smith took one hostage and stole 2 cars yesterday as he made his way south from Wilsonville. This whole thing started when police officers tried to arrest Smith at a tow yard on Boones Ferry Road. Smith was wanted on parole violation for bank robbery. He is in the Lincoln County Jail tonight in Newport.
2 Hillsborough High School students are in custody tonight for bringing